right now. Brian Murphy, WRAL Sports Investigative Reporter. You can read all his work at WRAL.com and WRALSportsFan.com. We have renderings. These are not concepts of a plan. These are actual plans with pictures, and this is what it's going to look like from the Raleigh Entertainment and Sports District. Your thoughts? What stood out to you?
Well, the biggest thing that stood out to me, and thanks for having me on, Adam, was the 2 parking garages with the tailgating suites connected to them and the 5-acre.
They're not tailgating spots; they're suites.
The first question I had was how much are they going to cost?
Right.
But the next question I had was, are fans going to be happy? I talked to Randy Woodson at a different function today, and he said, just to push back a little bit, these are not development plans. He said these are pictures for the zoning commission that is going to have to rezone this land, and that NC State is still looking to see what a plan actually looks like, which I thought was a little bit of interesting pushback given how excited I think people are to finally get a sense of where these parking structures might exist, what tailgating might look like, what that plaza between we can call it PNC Arena for now and Carter Finley Stadium looks like. There's a lot of exciting stuff in these renderings, so I thought it was interesting that Woodson pushed back a little bit.
We can't call it Lenovo Center yet. We're not allowed.
We can call it whatever we want.
It's in the video game, right? It's plastered on the ice at the arena in the EA Sports NHL video game. So I think we should be able to call it the Lenovo Center, but maybe we're not allowed at this point. What else other than the tailgating suite? Which, come on, Randy, this is too cool to push back on. What else jumped out about the pictures?
I thought the timing, like we had not really heard, we'd heard that it was going to start maybe in December of 2025, but they laid out a timeline that this first phase would be completed, or at least the parking structures would be completed by the start of NC State football season in 2027. That's an aggressive timeline. I'm sitting in downtown Raleigh looking at all the cranes that are up around here. We know how long it's going to take them to renovate the inside of PNC Arena. That is a quick timeline to get 2 structures built like that. What's it going to do to parking overall? And what is that tailgate scene going to look like? If there's a 5-acre tailgating section, are fans going to be happy with that? Or are they going to want their old tailgating spots in the parking lot back?
I mean, how allergic are we to progress? I'm not whether that sounds like a slam or not, I don't really care. How allergic are we to that?
Yeah, I think some people are certainly going to be allergic to it. NC State, I think, is going to have to do a lot of figuring out on how they make their money because, those parking spots are very, very valuable when it comes to donations for season tickets. The parking is included in those or an add-on to those. And so that's going to be an issue. But I do think what the pictures get at is how different that area is going to look like. We've heard it from the mayor. We've heard it from these meetings at the Centennial Authority. But to actually see some pictures that say, wow, that is quite a transformation. Don't forget, there's going to be a 4,000-seat music venue put in that same area as well. And so that area, the district, I guess we'll call it for now, I imagine there'll be a corporate sponsor before too long. But that district is going to kind of, we've heard that it's going to, be transformative and change the way Raleigh is and change the arena, the area around PNC Arena or the Lenovo Center. But to actually see the pictures, you get a sense of kind of the scale that we're talking about.
I mean, it just looks like it's going to be a spectacular area, and like you know this area well as I do. It's always been sort of an outlier area. Like, I understand we have the fairgrounds and we've got Carter Finley Stadium and PNC Arena, which basically are in the same footprint, and that's awesome. But there's been no connection to anything other than those 3 venues. And we don't hang out at the fairgrounds unless we're at the state fair, right? So we don't have any public transportation connecting them to anything. This area has screamed for entertainment, retail. They're doing everything here. We're going to have housing. We're going to have mixed housing, green spaces, all that. This has screamed for it for such a long time. It bothers me that we still have elements that are standing in the way of progress. There is some entertainment, I guess. There used to be called Backyard Bistro. What can you tell us? The team bought it last year. There was rumors that they were going to turn it into an off-site sports book, but they've gone back and forth with that. What's the new name? Do we know the new name? And what are they planning on doing, if anything, other than just having a restaurant?
Yeah, I don't know. I heard you mention that earlier, and unfortunately, I'm not sure what's going in that Backyard Bistro space. I do know from the gambling side, there's been a lot of questions about whether the facility was actually big enough to house all the things that they would need, a cage and other things to make sure that the money is secure. And so that plan's sort of been scrapped for now. And I would imagine that this development, I know that this development on the PNC side is going to have a sports book, a bar, restaurant where you can handle sports betting there. What's interesting to me, and you mentioned the fairgrounds, a lot of that land on the other side of Edwards Mill and the surrounding areas is owned by the Department of Agriculture. Well, if you're going to put $1 billion renovation redevelopment project on the PNC Carter Finley side, what's going to happen to all that land? That land is suddenly going to become much more valuable as for apartment buildings or businesses or more retail space. I think once this development gets started next year, and that's very quickly, I think it's going to have a carryover effect to not only the Backyard Bistro property, but all that other land that's kind of sitting there waiting for someone to do something with it.
Yeah, there's already a little bit of a kind of a greenway back in the woods around the arena. And could Cardinal Gibbons High School also be a winner here?
Yeah, there have been certainly rumors for a long time that perhaps they might look to sell that property. I know that their student enrollment base is coming from a different part of Wake County now, more toward the Cary Apex side. Right. It's possible that they could try to relocate closer to their student body population, and that would free up a lot of land. Look, the Hurricanes have made no secret they want to put baseball in the city of Raleigh. Certainly, that land, if you're going to spend $1 billion to renovate, develop the property around PNC, why would you put the baseball arena in downtown or at the Cary Town Center complex? You'd want to keep the baseball arena nearby, because then you could once again have a return on investment on this $1 billion development that you're doing.
Boy, you just opened my eyes to that as well. I guess I stumbled on the Cardinal Gibbons thing because it's just on the other side of Edwards Mill. Brian Murphy, anything else that I didn't ask you that you need to tell people about, or do I just direct them to your work at WRALSportsFan.com?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, and you've talked about it, this is 25 years in the making that they were supposed to be redeveloping this land, and to have it all coming at the same time, right? A new naming sponsor for PNC Arena, a $300 million renovation, now $1 billion redevelopment plan. It's pretty amazing to think that they worked on this for 25 years, and now in a 3-year span, it's all going to happen.
I'm looking forward to it. Brian Murphy, my man, I appreciate your time. I will talk to you very soon.
All right, thank you so much.
By the way, that's the guy who I slammed yesterday for picking up Jordan. What's his name?
Oh, Mason.
Jordan Mason.
Yeah,
that's the guy.